Sai Ram. We'll just recollect what we discussed before concluding last week. Swami or Krishna has told Arjuna that as a Kshatriya he should be fighting, and that's the only way for attaining heavens. And he also said that without giving in or giving way to the dualities of life, one should be steady in Atma Dharma and he should fight. I think those were the things which we discussed last week. I think there was one or two questions which were still not addressed, I guess. I think one of the questions Taruna had asked was if Krishna is telling that you to be steady in Atman, what is he talking about the dualities? Why is the dualities topic is coming up? That was a question she asked, if I remember it correctly. So I will share, I think, because it was getting late, so we closed the session. Actually, what Swami is telling is, you don't give room for the dualities. In Telugu, if you read, give way means you give in. The mind should not give room for the dualities of life, either sorrow or happiness. Because in the shloka, one of the shlokas, which is I think the 38th or 37th shloka, is saying the dualities are being explained, that sukha dukkhe samikritva labha labha jaya jaya. That is, you should not think about sukha and dukkha, or victory or defeat, or profit or loss. You should not give room for these type of thoughts. Don't even think that you should win the war. What will happen if you lose the war? Don't think or let those dualities affect your thinking. So without those two, if you just fight, then you will achieve victory and no sin will touch you. So that's what the Gita says, because Swami is mentioning about the 8 shlokas. So 31st to 39th shloka. So I thought I will just mention that. And if anyone else has something to comment, we can comment, or I think we can continue reading.
Saram, brother, and then you have mentioned that the duality not, but like don't give a space to think it that way. Okay, if I am going to lose or something, but like whatever it's happened, just accept it. Maybe like even like you lost, it doesn't matter, but you fought for it. That's the satisfaction you have it.
Yes, because I think from my understanding, brother, in the previous paragraph, Swami has already said none of this affects the Atman. The Atman doesn't die, Atman doesn't win, Atman, doesn't kill, the Atman doesn't prompt. So he wants Arjuna, which is what Swami is calling Buddhi Yoga, which has been explained to him, the Sankhya Yoga. So he says, be established in that thought. And so once you are established in the thought, the worldly physical level victory or loss should not affect. I think that's my understanding, brother.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? Please go ahead. So I think I will ask the sisters to maybe read. I think everyone has to warm up before they talk, it looks like.
Sarah, the Kauravas have desisted from no sin, no injustice, and no vice. They insulted elders, deserted the virtuous, defamed the chaste, and wounded the self-respect of the good. Countless are their misdeeds. Now the moment for retribution has come. They are about to answer for all their crimes. Just at this hour, if you behave like a poltroon, you bring dishonor to your parents, your brothers, and indeed to the entire Kshatriya caste. You imagine that it is a sin to engage in war. That is a great error. The sin, on the other hand, lies in avoiding the chance to destroy the wicked, in prolonging the agony of the virtuous. Give up your dharma now, and you run the risk of falling into perdition. Hold fast to it, and you are untouched by sin. Be of fixed mind. Do not give way to either one or the other among all the dualities of the world. From the 31st sloka of this chapter, Krishna has spoken of this Swadharmanishta in 8 shlokas.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to share anything? This is what we discussed last week, if I remember correctly.
So Sairam, brother, you know that that last in that fixed mind, that is one of the important one, because when you fix your mind only, you can't follow the equanimity, sorrow, and happiness. So for that, you have to Lord Krishna taught so many things, that Atma never die. So you have to do your duty. But so you have to train your mind. It's like a river. There are two side banks. One side is faith, and other one is doubt. So you should not have the doubts in order to merge with the ocean. So this is my understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Saramana.
Yes, Sairam Satish. Sairam, please.
Yeah. So I just wanted to dwell on what the earlier brother had also mentioned and what you had also said about not being swayed by the opposites, basically the duality. So I think we know this, but it's again like a reminder that to me, I'm trying to make it more tangible by saying that if I'm established in the Atman, then I will be only in the present. I will not be bound by the past or the anxiety of the future. So in the case of Arjuna, it's more like not being bound by the past with whatever he was feeling as his relationship to all his kith and kin or that kind of a thing. And the future is about him going ahead and killing them kind of a thing. It's just about being in the moment. So if I were to understand that if I am in the moment, I am not worried about the baggage of the past or of that of the future. So I am not in one sense in the world. I am means staying in the Atman really makes the duality go away, makes us look at life as it is and accept that kind of a thing with something that we call as detached professionalism kind of a thing, being completely detached, but yet being able to give 100% to the effort or action that is being done at that point, with no looking forward to the fruit to come, or no nothing of the past holding back, something on those lines.
Okay, thank you very much. I said this very nicely put. Thank you. Anyone else? I think if there are no thoughts forthcoming, maybe we will go on to, because Swami is going to still continuing the same theme in different words. So I think we can discuss further. Saira.
One should engage in activity with a mind steady in the midst of fortune, good and bad. This was what Krishna advised in the 37th shloka. The 39th is a transitional verse for after speaking of Isha Bihista Samyakya. Samkhya.
Esha te vihita samkhya. Esha te vihita samkhya.
Thank you. I have described to you the Samkhya arguments. Krishna says that he will go on teach him the Yoga Buddhi or Buddhi Yoga and asked him to listen with care. When the desire to attain the fruit of action is renounced with full intellectual awareness, then it becomes what Krishna calls Buddhi Yoga. The intellect has to be purified and trained. Otherwise, it is impossible to give up attachment to the fruits of action and to continue doing things as either duty or dedication. Such a purified intellect is named Yoga Buddhi. Cultivate it and then, through it, liberate yourself from the bondage of karma. Really speaking, you, the true you, are above and beyond karma. You might say that you will desist from karma rather than practice the difficult discipline of renouncing the fruits thereof. But that is impossible. No karma is inevitable. One has to do some karma or other. Not for a single moment can one free oneself from karma. Nahi kaschit. Okay.
Nahi kaschit kshanapati.
Says Krishna in the 3rd chapter of the Gita.
Yes, Swami is talking about how we should engage in action. Ultimately, that's what the entire Gita is about. So Swami is telling we have to do karma. There's no escape from it, because not even for a moment, kshanam means a moment. Nahi kaschit kshanam. Not even for any moment. There is not a single moment in our life where we are not performing an action. So karma has to be done. Then Swami is telling how, that's the last paragraph, but Swami says how the karma has to be performed. I think someone is asking, paragraph by paragraph we will discuss. I think that's good. So why don't we discuss the first? Thank you very much. I don't know who it is. So Swami, let's look at the first paragraph. Swami is basically talking about the 37th sloka. Actually, it is 38th sloka. Sukha dukhe samikritva labha labhau jaya jaya. That's where he's saying, mind should not be either in either one of them, but we should be steadily pursuing. And in the 39th verse is where he's saying, because of this I have taught you Sankhya Yoga. Esha tesha bhita Sankhya Buddhi Yogam Vimam Shrunu. I have told you and you have heard, listen. Okay. So with that kind of a buddhi, he wants him to perform all actions. So if he does so, he will not be tied by the shackles of karma, the bonds of karma. So that's what the 39th shloka tells. So Sankhya Yoga is whatever we have discussed, the Atma doesn't die, all that is Sankhya Yoga. And the 8th shloka is where Krishna is telling why you should be doing your dharma as a Kshatriya. And in the 39th verse, he is basically saying, that is why, I have described to you. This is the way I have given you all these, arguments. So I have explained to you. That's what he is saying. Okay, so anyone else wants to comment on this one, please?
The so-called Yoga Buddhi or Buddhi Yoga, is it equivalent to self-realization, or is something a little lesser than the self-realization?
See, the Buddhi Yoga means, sister, in the next paragraph, second paragraph, Swami is sort of telling you
When I look at that one, I thought it's sounding like, oh, maybe in that very first paragraph, Swami said, teach him the yoga buddhi or buddhi yoga. Then even the second paragraph in the first sentence, Swami Krishna calls buddhi yoham. When I look at the context and maybe the content of that paragraph, I thought it's kind of a self-realization. We called in another language, maybe or is it self-realization? In my understanding, that is the very last stage, kind of. But this is maybe before that stage, or is it completely different from what I understand?
Oh. So, you know, I have already described the Sankhya arguments, Krishna says, but I will hereafter, I will going to teach you the Buddhi Yoga, means how to discriminate. I think this was a question which Sister Alamelo also had asked. I know, how do we get, confused situations, what do we do? So Krishna is telling, I'm going to teach. And I think then we can discuss when we go to the next paragraphs, I think, sister. But how to use the buddhi in the best way possible. I think that's what Swami is going to teach. That's my understanding. So I will ask if anyone else has something to say.
So, Sairam brother, according to Anandi, the yoga mean, most of the people think is kind of exercise. Yoga mean merge with the Paramatma. So we can merge with the Paramatma mainly with the 8 yoga. So one of the one is called buddhi. When you use properly the buddhi, that viveka, then you can merge with the Paramatma. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please?
Sorry, Uncle, just a quick clarification. I know when we first started chapter 2, I think that it had come up like Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika. So this part, what has been described so far is Sankhya. That's what's been described about the Atman and all of that.
The second chapter itself is called Sankhya Yoga. The bulk of the contents in the second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. We talked about the Shad Darshanas. One is Sankhya. There are 6 schools of thought in Sanatana Dharma philosophy, of which one of them is Sankhya, which is a very objective analysis of the world. What are the principles? What is Atma? What is Anatman? What Atma does not change, the Anatman always changes. All these concepts are the core teachings of the Sankhya Yoga or Sankhya Darshana. So Krishna dwelt on it quite a bit because it's a very objective school of thought as to how we deal with this world. Sankhya Yoga mainly deals with this world to discriminate what is permanent, what is not permanent. Very analytical study of the world. So Sankhya means to count, so that means a very mathematical analysis, if you want to put it that way also. It looks at the world and say this belongs here, this does not belong here, this many number of things and things like that. And it enumerates every single thing. So second chapter is Sankhya Yoga, where Krishna systematically tells what is Atman, what is Anatman. This is a principle underlying teaching of the Sankhya Yoga. That's my understanding. If anyone else has something to say, I don't know, Sai Satish, can you comment on Sankhya Yoga?
No, and I don't have much
Okay, that's
knowledge on that. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but yeah,
No,
so
that is, yeah.
that's okay.
Sai Ram, this is
Yes.
Saku auntie. In the process of the intellect, I mean, to get the intellect purified, that process is called Buddhi Yoga. And once the Buddhi gets purified, then it becomes Yoga Buddhi. This is what I understand from this paragraph. And the Buddhi, as Dasan said, Buddhi is very essential for us to find out what is the correct way, the reality, and also the ignorance has to go so that the Buddhi becomes Jyotir. And then only you can develop your Sayujya state or any three stages, 4 stages of liberation. So this is the beginning practice that you need to go to that level. Thank you. This is what I understood. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you.
Sorry, Uncle, in the Telugu also, is Swami saying both of those terms? Like in this sentence, is he saying yoga buddhi or buddhi yoga? Or is-
Okay, so I can just read that. So Swami is saying, Sankhya Buddhi. So Swami is using the word Sankhya Buddhi ni Niku Bodhinchitini. So I've taught you the Sankhya Buddhi. Okay, the Buddhi of Sankhya I've already taught you. Ika Yoga, Ika means hereafter. Yoga Buddhi ni Telipedanu. Hereafter I'm going to teach you Yoga Buddhi. Okay. Vinuvani Paramatmani Telipenu. So that's all Swami says. I am going to teach you Yoga Buddhi. Okay. So Yoga Buddhi or Buddhi Yoga is the one which is written. I'm only talking about the first paragraph here. Okay. So he's telling, I have taught you so far Sankhya Buddhi. How would you train your mind to analyze using the Sankhya arguments? Now from that I am going to take you to Yoga Buddhi hereafter. That's what Krishna is saying. I hope that answers your question. And so he's telling, listen now. I know that's what he says. And that's all.
Anna, one analogy just comes to my mind. I think it means if we have to get to the top of a building, we can use the stairway to get there. You can use the lift, or you can even use a rope kind of thing to climb and stuff like that. So I think the same perspective, the end result is ultimately Lord Krishna is having Arjuna to go to battle. So the different line of thinking, whether it is going through Sankhya and trying to tell him to dwell at the level of the Atman and always be in that stage, or to step into a level of Kshatriya Dharma and go forward and fight, or coming now to Buddhi Yoga, the end result of each of those is ultimately to ensure that Arjuna ultimately goes on to fight, goes on to get into that end result of fighting the battle. So I'm just trying to see Krishna prodding him at each of those levels, at the level of the Atman, at the level of the body, which is the Kshatriya Dharma, at the level of the mind, where I think it is Karma Phala Tyaga and things of that kind. So that's what is coming to me as I see it, of the logical thing, whether each ultimately it is to get Arjuna to get into action, kind of a thing.
Okay, thank you, Sai Satish. Anyone else has something to say? So if no one, I mean, I have thanks Sai Satish, just to talk about Swadharma, which is the worldly Varnashrama Dharma. How do we deal with that? Then we had Sankhya arguments, Sankhya Buddhi, and then Yoga Buddhi. I also, yes, though Krishna wants the immediate action of Arjuna to be fighting the war, I think he has also used this as an opportunity to teach some sublime higher truths also. In this world, actually, we are all always faced with something, some choice, some action which we have to perform. And when we start contemplating, that's when we start thinking, what is right, what is wrong, what should we do, what we should not do. And I think that's a very ripe moment for God to teach us spirituality. So that otherwise we are busy in this world with this or that. So I think so Krishna uses this as is a great opportunist, who when he finds the right place and teach the highest truths, we will be very receptive at that point in time. So that
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. We have to apply to ourselves too. It's not only for Arjuna.
Yeah.
So
So
thank
so
you.
what are we
Thank
going
you.
to fight about? Is the question, Auntie. With whom are we going to fight?
Fight with our wrong in thinking of intellect, karma, results, fruits. So here we know that what we have to do, this is a kind of a training that Baba is telling us. You have to purify your intellect.
Yes, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you. So I think we are all going into the next, because not too many discussions happening about the first paragraph. So we'll go to the second paragraph. I think that's the question which Sister Ananti also asked. What is this yoga, and will it give us liberation, self-realization? I think that was the question she asked.
Maybe
Swami is
before,
saying that we will liberate ourselves from bondage of karma. Yes, sister, please go ahead.
before we move on to that one, maybe just at a follow-up, the thought too on that same sentence in the second paragraph and the first sentence. Here Swami says that when the desire to attain the fruit of action is renounced with full intellectual awareness, it becomes what Krishna calls buddhi yoham. I was thinking myself that under what circumstances the fruit of action can be renounced without intellectual awareness. Swami says that if the fruit of action is renounced with full intellectual awareness, then it will be called as buddhi yoham. But is there any circumstance without having any intellectual awareness, the fruit of action can be renounced?
You're asking whether with any other state of mind we can renounce
Any example, without knowing ourselves, sometimes we may, they renounce the fruit of action. So I'm wondering, is there any example, any example to see under what circumstances without knowing or without full awareness, we will renounce the fruit of action, to see under what circumstances we would be having that one, and to compare the full awareness renunciation of the fruit of action.
You mean the intellectual awareness, Auntie, right? Because it here says renounced with full intellectual announcement. So without that intellect, is it?
Yeah, without intellectual awareness, any example, to see. But Swami also says it's very hard. We have to, really trained and practiced. I was wondering, if Swami says like that, maybe under any kind of situation we may renounce, but without knowing and without full intellectual awareness, without knowing, sometimes we will renounce. So is there any example to portray that situation,
I think first I'm going to read the Telugu So because the translation sometimes can make us think in all sorts of ways. See, Swami says, Buddhi Purvaka Muga. Buddhi Purvaka Muga. Palasakti Vadali. Chesina Karmane. Nishkama Karma Ani Anduru. Ade Buddhi Yoga. What he's saying is, Buddhi Purvaka Muga means through the intellect, through the discriminative faculty or through the buddhi, we have to give up the fruits of karma. Then any action we do is called nishkama karma. And Swami says that is called buddhi yoga. So that means our buddhi has to help us in getting rid of the attachment to the fruits, wanting the fruits. And once that is done, any action which we do is called nishkama karma, because it has separated the action from the desire for the fruit. And then that state where, because we have used the buddhi to do that, then that effort of the buddhi is called buddhi yoga. And I think your question is, sometimes without being aware that we are giving up the fruits of action, you say.
Yeah.
That means we may be sleeping.
I thought, maybe sometimes, while we are alive and active, we don't want to give up anything, sometimes at the end of the life cycle, or when we are really, after our death, we will give this one to other, charities or something. That may be that may be the example for this one. While we are active and alive and either renouncing from our pleasure to give up something, that is very different. When we are at the end of the cycle, we cannot do anything, with the money or any kind of asset we are having, and give it to someone else. Maybe at that time we may not have full intellectual awareness. Maybe when you tell when we are sleeping, maybe at the end of the life cycle, it may be equivalent to sleeping. We don't know what is going on, outside the world, and we give all of our, things to other people, or, maybe that would be equivalent to, without having full intellectual awareness, we give out something to other people. That would be called as renunciation with I don't know how to differentiate this situation and the other situation, but Swami, my thinking in this full intellectual awareness, so I was wondering why Swami, really, they put those words in full intellectual awareness. If we renounce something, from our life, then only that would be called as buddhi yoga. If we don't know what is going on, if we renounce, then that will not be called as buddhi yoga. But I don't know what kind of example I can bring it to, differentiate. That is my question.
Okay. So I just to rephrase you, just to understand what you said, sister. What you're saying is Swami referring to? I think you gave the example of people writing a will. After I die, let this go to somebody. Okay. So that means I want it as long as I can use it. After that, somebody can take it.
That somebody can take it.
Okay. So that sort of state. That's why I said sleeping. That means when we are not aware, that means we are asleep. Who is taking, who is not taking, also we don't know. Okay. So that means that's not conscious. It's not conscious renouncing. So if that's, if I have understood what you said, just so that others also can be clear.
Yeah, that you
as to what
understand correctly what was in my thought
Okay.
and in my mind. Thank you.
So okay. Brother Dasan, you raised your hand, please.
Okay, so Sairam brother. So Swami is explaining nicely the intellect has to be purified through the niskama karma. Niskama karma means without any, whatever you said, we don't have any desire on the fruit of the action. If you have the desire only, you are end up with sorrow and happiness. When you are doing any work, it could be Sai Center, it could be anywhere at home, don't have the desire. If you don't have the desire, then you are not going to born again. You're going to merge with the God. That is my understanding.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else has something to say, please?
Sairam, this is Akwanti again.
Yes,
You
Aunty.
have said that if you surrender all your actions to Baba, then there won't be any consequence or karma. Is that also applies here? If we
So
surrender,
okay, so yeah, so I think you are asking me to clarify something which I said before, I guess. So my view is, for example, when you have a desire, you are affected by what the outcome is for any action, whether you will be either happy or you will be sad. But if you do not have the desire, whatever the result, it is not going to affect you. So it is not going to affect you means then you are free. You have not affected by the outcome. So by virtue of not having an expectation, not having a strong desire for achieving something, that come what may, that has to happen. If we feel when it doesn't happen, we will be really disappointed, or when it comes, we will be very, very excited, and then we will again do something to feel the same excitement again. So then that always has the risk of either feeling sad or feeling happy. Then we become a slave to the outcomes. Our mind and our mental state is always a slave to the outcome. So whereas if you were not affected by what the outcome is, then you are not really, you're free. Actually, you're free. You have liberated yourself completely from the results of action, and which Swami is saying, that the bondage of karma. And then we may still do action, but we will be unaffected by the outcome, and I think just to highlight what Sister Anandi was telling this, that when we are dead, that time, we are not experiencing anything in the world. So we are not giving. Actually, somebody else is giving on our behalf, if at all. So I think, so Swami is talking about doing action with full awareness, and at that point in time, we should give up our desires, because otherwise the desires are still inside. We'll be born again to achieve the, at least face the consequences, and still feel sad or happy. That's my understanding. I hope I answered what you asked. But anyone else, please?
I think you are giving very clear indication that like anything you do, but like don't have a desire on that. Actually, that see that people like doing charity because they are expecting our blessing, gain the God blessing, and that. No, you do that one whatever you want to do, but don't expect anything back. That is the thing I think that Swami very clearly saying here, and do every action. Karma is there. Yeah, you have to do. You can expect with the karma, but like you don't do things without expectation. That automatically that become a good karma in your account for that. Like that's what I understand. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother. Okay.
One other thing on the same lines that's being shared I've heard this in Swami's discourse. He says, when Krishna said karma phala tyaga, he said phala tyaga, meaning the fruit of action. He didn't say give up on your action. So he says karma phala tyaga. So you have three words: karma being action, phala being fruit, and tyaga being renunciation or giving up. So in that context, Swami clearly says it's always renunciating the fruits of the action and not the action by itself. And in that same discourse, means the essence of what you get is if we are able to just be at that moment with complete focus, with no expectation, then we literally become free. So like when Anna was saying even about the duality part, every time only when we have desire do we have duality, in the sense I have head or tails, or I have happiness or sadness, or I have victory or defeat. But if there is no desire or the expectation of the fruit, then I just do the action. And to what Auntie was saying, when we surrender to Swami, it is with complete understanding that when surrender, we say whatever Swami gives is also prasadam. So when we do the action we are not expecting the fruit of that action. It may not, it may give a good result, it may give a bad result. But surrender comes when we accept the same bad result with the same equanimity that we will accept a good result. So the process is complete, that we offer it to Swami, and whatever Swami gives back, we do not see it as good or bad, because we don't see duality. We are at the same level of saying that everything is Swami's prasadam, and we are only focused on our action and at no point in time on the fruits. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sairam, uncle, I just have a couple of quick questions. Just the word nishkama, does a kama mean desire?
Yes.
And nish means?
Without.
Without, okay. Got it. And so, you know how Swami's using here yoga buddhi, or sorry, he used the word buddhi yoga, right?
Yes.
In this paragraph. So
Yes.
is there a difference between yoga buddhi and buddhi yoga? Or is it same?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Swami, see, Swami says Ade Buddhi Yogam. That's the word which he has used here. But you're asking whether he's in the previous paragraph, did Swami use Yoga Buddhi? That's the question you're asking, no?
Yeah, so
There Swami is saying, Ika Yoga Buddhi ni telipedanu. I am going to teach you Yoga Buddhi. And here he is telling it is Buddhi Yoga. So it is synonymous. You know, in Sanskrit, you can put the words in either order, it means the same thing. Okay.
Just one other question, like, I guess, you know, our whole life, like, you know, every decision, act that you do, like I've done at least, has always been to gain some sort of, you know, happiness or pleasure and it's something, right? So even, you know, spiritual activities or like, you know, things like coming to the study circle or reading Swami's literature, like I think I do it because I feel that I'm going to gain something, like I'm going to hopefully gain, you know, the ability to be happy, you know, not without relying on anything in the external world. So I mean, is that something also that you have to give up, that desire, or that's okay to have that kind of desire is okay?
Very good question. So, you know, I think I think very, very, very good question, because your question is, should we have spiritual desire, you know, even to progress, even to attain liberation, even to reach Swami? Whether we should have that or not is the question you're asking. Because should we engage in our sadhana having that desire, or is that also a problem? I think that's the question you're asking. Very nice question. I will open it for discussion. I'm sure all of you, I think everyone would have some idea about, how do we interpret and put it into practice in the field of spirituality. When Swami says, how do we should we renounce the fruits of our sadhana and engage in sadhana? I think that's the question. So I will open it up for discussion. If anyone has something to share, please do so.
So Sairam, brother, it's a nice, good question. When we studied Navabhida Bhakti, this is one of the Navabhida Bhakti study circle. We are learning about God's leelas and God's whatever He teaching us. So this is one of the Navabhida Bhakti. We can merge onto that one. Here, you have to have the attachment only with the God. We are not worldly things. This is my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam,
Sairam, sister.
Sairam, in Tamil, we call, maybe at the end of the, the renunciation level or stage, we call one proverb or something, Isanodainam Asai Armin. So even if it is a spiritual sadhana or even something really in the spiritual, the practices, I understood from that, proverb, you have to give up any desire, even at the very last stage, even the spiritual desire also you have to give up, whether I will get the, the fruits or, that sort of understanding, I got it from there, and that could be different from others, but that's what I learned from, even we discussed in the past, maybe even Sandekha Nivarani or somewhere else, we really discuss about this subject, and we concluded, if I am wrong, maybe at the very last stage, we shouldn't even have that desire to merge with Lord, if we have that sort of desire, we never ever would be able to merge with God, because even if we, renounce that, the desire, then only it would be, we will be able to merge. Otherwise, we couldn't be able to. That sort of understanding, I got it from the past discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was Sandekha Nivarani, but I remember it, I don't know, I could be wrong too, but where Swami says that you have to have that spiritual desire to attain. But I think once you realize yourself, you won't have that. It's not that you can't, but you will be at a stage where nothing will affect you or something along that line. Maybe Anna, you can explain because we forgot. It's been some time, I guess.
Okay, yeah. I will wait for others to share their thoughts, and then if no one has said anything, then I will join. Anyone else would like to share thoughts, please?
Yeah, I like to say one sentence. So put it in a nutshell. We have to have the desire with the God. Once we merge, once we have achieved the self-realization, there's no difference between the God and you. So there won't be any desire. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother.
I think this is like a process on the way to you achieve, but like a, like at one point you automatically, you go to the right path and you know what is right and what is wrong. And even the desire with God also, that whenever you merge with it, and you would understand that it's not going to be, you have the desire to merge with, but like that is eventually end of the processing. So that is now now at the moment, you should have the desire to learn that thing. Like there's nothing wrong with it. That's what my opinion is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Brother Yoga, you have hand.
Yes, Saranam. That's what they said. Take a one step, and so I will take other 3 steps, 100 step kind of things. So we had to decide to take a spiritual path. So one step we take, then we will Swami comment plus in the path properly, the safeguard taking us to the progress. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother.
Hi, Ram, brother. I wanted to add 2 cents here. A desire to practice the spiritual path, you have to have it. But desire to merge with the God, but when you are practicing, that desire will disappear. And when the time comes, you don't remember, you won't have that desire. This is the way I would think. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Anna, just again trying to get a feel of this, because it's like we have a forest, lots of trees, and there's a monkey that's hopping from one tree to another. So our sadhana or namasmarana or whatever we do is that one central tree where, though the monkey goes on to several other trees, we try to bring it back to that one central tree, so that if we keep doing that, the other trees or slowly the big part of the forest keeps vanishing away, so that we are always focused on that one central tree, whether it is through Nam Japam or whatever sadhana, meditation, whatever we do. The idea is to come back so that the monkey, being the mind, comes back to that one name, one form, one activity, which is that central tree. So slowly, by doing that time and again, the rest of the trees of the forest keep vanishing, because abhyasa yogena, we keep getting trained and trained and trained. The monkey keeps coming back to that one central tree. The mind goes elsewhere, we get it back to that same, through that name form, we get it to that tree. But ultimately, for that mind or that monkey to like vanish, what Swami says, like Amanaska, that central tree also has to vanish, on which the monkey comes back to. So the ultimate thing would be, though we, whatever sadhana we do, it comes to a stage where even that has to be offered to Bhagawan and left. So it is like what Swami says, whether it's the iron, whatever, iron chain or silver chain or gold chain, the sadhana is like that gold chain. But in one sense, the sadhana also binds us to the level of duality of one who is doing worship and one who is receiving worship. So if we can ultimately, even as we keep doing every day the sadhana that continues lifelong, if there is one point where there is no difference between the one who is doing worship and the one who is receiving that, then that sadhana also breaks free, and the central tree also vanishes, the monkey also vanishes, there is nothing, and what is left is the ultimate stage of being one with the Atmic reality, or there is only one, there is nothing like you speak about anything else. So that is what, so the same thing of what again Swami says, satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. That whole thing, you start with satsanga, good company, good thoughts, then you go to nissangatva, then you go to beyond company, having no such thing, then from there to nirmohatvam, to giving up everything. I mean, that I think the Sanskrit translation Anna should be able to tell better, but yeah, going all the way where there is no, so the ultimate thing is to give up even on that kind of a, what we call as good action. It'll be like if there is no distinguishing factor between good and bad, where we are able to completely renounce that, then that would be the ultimate realization, something of that kind.
Thanks, Sai Satish. Anyone else has something to add to this question?
Sai Ram, this is Sakwanti again. I think in the Dhyana Vahini, we have studied that. The 3 people, the action of meditation, the person who is doing meditation, the God who is receiving the meditation, all three becomes one. So we have learned that. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Does anyone else have something to say? So I guess it's hello.
So yes, Sairam, I'd like to add one more point here. When
Yes.
we are listening to this Gita, even the Baba said, even that time that you are depart from the body, that time people read the Bhagavad Gita or Rama Vijaya. That time when they read it, you should be able to understand. That time you cannot have a explanation or anything. So your mind will be set whether you self-realization or not. At least your mind will be set to the God. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else, please? I guess no one has something to say. So maybe I will attempt to, I think, summarize. I think Sister Narmada was telling that we had discussed this during Sandeha Nivaran discussion as well. What we discussed was, I think I will just go back to what Sister Ananthi said. Asay Aramin, Isanod Ayinam, Asay Aramin, as Tirumular has said in Tirumandaram. The thing is, most of us, because we're used to using the mind to do, motivate us to do any action, the mind also comes into the path of spirituality, saying, let's do this sadhana, you will succeed in something. I think it's, as everyone has already pointed out, it's a good thing because it may be a gold chain and that's needed to progress. But I think Kalyani's question is, should we pursue sadhana like that? I think I will come back to that. Or is that is also a problem? I think others have already said, but I think it's because the topic is a bit nuanced. In the sense, if we take up even sadhana with desire, there's a risk of us giving up the sadhana. Because what happens, people, Swami himself has said, many people come to me wanting this or that. And when they get something which they like, they stay and they say Swami is avatar, he is God, and they will do everything. Then they will ask for something which, if it's not fulfilled, they will say this is Sai Baba is, he's a cheat. He's not, and he's not divine, and then they will go away. Then they will call all names to the Sai. Okay. He says, because then that kind of devotion, even if it is sadhana, there are people who have come and for decades they have stayed in Prashanta Nilayam and then suddenly one day left. So if we do not let the mind, if you do let the mind interfere even with our sadhana, the sadhana is at risk. Because most of the time, even devotion we do with the desire. Oh, this happened, Swami gave us this, I'm happy, so let me pray a little more, things like that. So then sadhana has the potential to become a slave of the karma, a good karma, bad karma. Swami did this to us, Swami didn't do that to us, things like that. So I think ideally, the earlier we start doing sadhana without desire, I think is the best. Number one is my view. So the thing is, how do we do that is another second question. So I would again go to the Buddhi Yoga, because one of the problem in spiritual path is we always worried about how much have we progressed. That question actually comes from the mind. Have I progressed? Have I progressed more than the others around me? Have I progressed at all, or am I slipping back? How do I measure my progress? All these are problems which the mind creates. And that can become a problem for sadhana, because then we were always looking for better types of sadhana. We will go to Swami one day, then we will say, oh, Swami is not there, we will go to another guru, or we will go and try something else somewhere. Somebody is promising more, faster realization. All this happens. So my view is that desire as a motivator for sadhana is prone to trouble and problem. When Swami shakes the nail will fall off. As Swami says, when he really tests, the dualities of the world will just pull us down, and devotion will just go away. And that's my understanding. Maybe that is not necessarily right. That's my personal view. So I thought I would just share that. I don't know, Kalyani, whether I have depressed you with this answer.
It's a little depressing. No, it's okay. No, I guess to think that, like you feel like, well, I feel like I have gained already something because it's motivating me to keep going. But yeah, like I guess the expectation can be a detriment if, yeah, like you said.
So that's my understanding. Thank you. Anyone else has something to add? I mean, we had varieties of inputs, and I think it's a synthesis of all these thoughts which will make us going. Because sometimes the mind helps us also. You see, when the motivation is low. But I think we have to be aware of it. That's all. The buddhi has to be aware of it. Then the buddhi will not let the mind make us slip. I think that's a trick. We should not let the mind get the better of us, which by showing desires. But little bit of desire, even with the Lord, is a nice thing, as people would have enjoyed. Shall we go to the third paragraph?
Brother, desire with the God supposed to be there for a while, like just you cannot give up that and do spiritual, right? So you have to have it for a time where you will, without your knowledge, you will forget.
Thank you,
That's how
sister.
I would say.
Okay, I just want to clarify, because sometimes I think the problem for us is we mix up desire and motivation, and that's a big problem. Motivation is wanting to do an action. It's a will. Okay, this is a good thing to do. I want to do. I'm not. Desire is a personal benefit. This body, will get something. Whereas a motivation is to know this is the right thing to do. This is the good thing to do for everyone's sake. Desire generally is a personal. It's for one person, selfish needs. Whereas for everyone's benefit is not desire. It is enthusiasm or motivation to do the best thing for everyone involved. So I would slightly differentiate and distinguish between desire, something for me, and something which is good for the world. So that is what buddhi will tell. The buddhi is the one which will tell it's good for everyone, do this. So sometimes even something painful we will do because that is beneficial. For example, if you had to go and do exercise, many people say, I don't want to exert myself. Okay. But when you know that is good for your health, which is not a desire based thing, it's a motivation to be healthy. That also can make one engage in action. Okay. I think that's where we had to sort of distinguish, is my understanding. So, but we can, because we don't know what is desire, what is motivation. We think everything is one. But desire also sometimes gives us motivation which is not sustainable. Desire gives you spurts. one day you will do something, and after that you will say, today I'm not going to do. That is the nature of
But
desire.
there is a little bit of confusion, right? The
Okay.
motivational comes with a thinking of others and all, then that will drag on to the other side. When the desire comes with the God and do things that motivate other people. So how the desire comes is, I think, there you can say whether you are like what you are doing. That motive, the desire with the God, that you do something and motivate other, that automatically has to motivate others, but not the point of view of like showing other people, motivating them. That's not the right thing.
No. Okay, so I will come back to that, but then I will let others also speak. Brother Dasan had raised his hand.
Yes.
Please, sister, brother.
So, Saram brother, even Baba said, you're supposed to have desire with only God, nothing else. So the reason is, we studied about the God's will and Sankalpam, and we are the instrument. So when we have this kind of understanding, we only ask from the God, not the worldly thing. We're going to ask only His grace and blessing to merge with Him. So definitely until we merge, we're supposed to have the desire with the God in order to merge with Him. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else? I think Sister Anandi wants to say something, or was about to say something.
Sairam, this is Sakwanti. I agree with Dasan because Baba says, Krishna says, fix your mind on me. And Baba says, fix your mind on me, nothing else. And without that, the spiritual journey will not be possible. And once you start doing it, after some time, you will start enjoying it. Till such time, you need some kind of a push in yourself. This is what I feel. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Auntie.
Sairam,
Yes.
rather than saying desire to God, maybe in our interpretation or understanding, we say that desire to God, but that for that one we have a different wording. The devotion. The devotion is different from desire. The desire. In the normal day-to-day language is, the worldly desire, normally we would say desire. I believe in the spiritual parlance, we have a different terminology, maybe devotion, maybe better wording than the desire to God, or devotion to God, or some sort of devote is different from desire. Maybe the when we use the desire, that gives a different kind of understanding and the meaning. Sister Aruna's thinking is right, but the wording is misleading. The desire to God, the maybe maybe a better wording, different wording. They may give the better understanding or something. Sister Aruna's thought is right. We have to have some sort of, Brother Aruna said, maybe motivation and those things. But our day-to-day desire is very different from when we use that sort of, I would say devotion may be the better wording, or we have to come up with a different wording. When we never say desire to God, that is one of my the points in that Sister Aruna's the question or concern. Have we already moved to the third
No,
paragraph?
we have not gone, sister.
We have not yet gone. Okay.
We are still in Yoga Buddhi. So, but thank you for introducing this. Actually, because you triggered certain thoughts in me. I think that hopefully that clarifies something which is when I told about about the welfare of everyone. I think Sister Aruna said we should not be worried about other people. We should we should have desire for God. I think that was the point. On this topic, Swami has spoken quite a bit. Swami says, love is the cause of everything in this world. Love, again, I think Sister Ananthi, thanks for using the word devotion. Because Swami says, in this world, everything happens because of love. Love gives something called an attraction for something. Okay. So then what happens? Swami says this love, which is in this world, is like the rose flower. Love is something like a rose flower. These rose flowers are always come with thorns. You cannot have a rose flower without a thorn. The thorn is desire. The rose flower is love. The thorn is desire. He says the trick of sadhana is plucking the rose flower without being pricked by the thorn. So the thing is, for example, we see somebody and we say, oh, we love this person. Then what happens? Initially, it is love. That is the rose flower. People even give rose flower without thorn to the person. But then what happens is desire creeps in. Desire creeps in the way, oh, now I love this person, so this person should become mine. Then all problems start. Then the flower will wither away and only the thorn will remain. I want this person, and that person will find us unbearable. So the thing is, even with God, love is something which naturally we have to have. See, that's why I said, sometimes we confuse I use the word motivation, the devotion is a better word, and Sister Anandi found it for me. So love and desire go together in this world. So we need to know possessiveness, mamakara, it belongs to me, should not be there. If that is there, then the love will wither away. So even with God, see, for example, if we go there and if Swami spoke to somebody else, we'll be all sad. We would have gone to have darshan, from all the way from here. Then you will say, why didn't he talk to us? Why didn't he talk to that person? We would have, initially, we didn't have had even the desire that Swami should talk to us. We would have been happy just to have darshan and come. But you go there and you are not given attention, then you will see he cannot be God. I came with so much love and he's not even talking to me. And, all our positive feelings would have turned negative. This happens to many people because when we let the thorn take the better of it, the flower is not appreciated. So we should do everything for love's sake, not for desire's sake. So I hope I will stop there. Sorry for talking too much. Anyone else, if you want to share?
Very nice, brother. Thank you.
So Sairam, brother. So if Swami is there, we connect through the Atmic level, Atma level. So we are not care about other people talking, Swami is talking or anything. We connected through the Atma. So we satisfied with that. Whether he talked to 10 people or 100 people, it doesn't affect us. But my desire with him to merge. Thank you, Sairam.
Total love.
Yes.
Total love. Okay, so I think I hope that sort of answers many questions.
Sai Ram, I agree with Asan. Thank you.
Sai Ram, Sai. Thank you very much, Auntie. So now I think we'll go to the third paragraph. If anyone has something to say, I'm hopefully I don't stop anyone from saying something. So we'll go to the next one. Swami says now, I think Sai Satish has already mentioned, we should not give up karma. Okay. We should only give the fruits of action. Okay. Don't give up the karma itself. I think that's what Swami is talking about. You see, because we cannot give up action, not even for a moment. Even breathing is an action. Our heart is beating continuously. If we eat something, the digestion is going on. So there's always some action going on within us, and we are also engaging action. That's what Krishna is saying. So I will stop here. I will open it up for a discussion. Saira.
So the Lord Krishna says in this one, not for a single moment can one free oneself from karma. So even when we meditate, still we will be having some sort of karma. Even when we do meditation, even normally, in the layman language, we always think karma only connects with any action. It's the bodily action. But even in the mental action or intellectual action, or even the other, we have five, the Annamaya Kosha, the five kosas, Pranamaya, Anandamaya, Vijnanamaya, and even at every single level of the kosha, there would be karma involved in that one, because I thought in the meditation time, we just give up all kind of actions, and we would, even in the beginning level, or in the other higher level, or in the intermediate level, we will try to cut down the karma. But when I look at this one, Swami says that even for a single moment, the Lord Krishna says, every single moment we will be having some sort of karma. So my question is, even in the meditation time, when we have the meditation, we will be having some sort of karma attached to that one, or when we do actually the kind of action, it's like maybe bodily action, or the mental action, or the other actions, except from the other than meditation, would come up with the karma concept.
Thank you, sister. I think you have partially answered your question also, but you have still asked the question. But I will open it up for discussion if others have something to comment on what you have stated. Sairam, anyone please, if you have something to say.
So even in the meditation, you are breathing, so that germs going to be killed. So you are doing karma all the time. That's what we always ask forgiveness from the God every day. Whatever we doing, knowing or unknowingly, whatever we have done, please forgive us. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment on what Sister Anand stated?
Sir, I mean, even I don't know, I heard or read somewhere the thing, even like we breathe and we kill something. Whenever we breathe or we walk, some germs will kill, so that causes karma. So every action, whatever without we knowingly or unknowingly, so we doing some karma that we can escape from that. Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
I think, Uncle, that we had learned earlier, you had mentioned that even thoughts have karma, right?
Thoughts are also under karma. Thoughts are also included. Yes, I think Sunday Nivani we discussed that part Because I think the question was asked if jnanis engage in karma, whether they also have to experience. So Swami says sometimes intentional actions also bring karma. Unintentional actions also bring karma. Others' intentions also can bring karma, something like that Swami has said. So yes, karma can come in many different ways, even when we are not acting or even thinking. There is passive activities going on in our body, which is what Brother Tasan also mentioned and Brother Varadan also mentioned, which is even just breathing, whatever goes on in the body also is action. But thoughts are also considered action, because ultimately thoughts what create the binding with action is created by thought itself. And thought is the one which propels us to action also. So thought is the seed of karma.
Brother, you have mentioned about 3 karmas: intentional, unintentional. What is the third one, brother?
Others.
What's that, please? That we cannot avoid, right?
Yes, that's why Swami says, as if you're born, when others do something, also something can happen. You can sit in a car and not do anything, and suddenly somebody can come and bump your car. But then, that creates something, the fruits of actions can come from all 3.
Okay.
Others' actions, fruits also, you may have to share it in this world, unfortunately.
But only the very nice. Only the intentional, the action we can control ourselves. Unintentional and the others, the intention we cannot really control. I believe Brother Aruna previously explained that unintentional one, when we when we drive the car in the road in the rainy season, full of creatures, they will go across the road and we will
Sister, I think you should look straight and talk, because we are not hearing.
What about now?
Now it's good. Now, please.
Yeah. So the unintentional, the actions, I believe you previously explained us. Sometimes when you walk along the grass without intention, without knowing, we will push or pull something in that grass. Maybe some creatures it would be there and they will die. So we never even know that we have kills some sort of worms, or without knowing we will kill something, but we can't even control ourselves, because that is beyond our not even intention, beyond our
control,
vision, or other things. The others' intention also, we cannot really control. I don't know how that sort of action we can eliminate from our the path. Only we can control our intentional words, thoughts, and deeds to reduce the karma. But other other 2 factors, it's really uncontrollable and beyond our control. If we take some karma, I believe that is very unfair by the God to us. Yeah.
I think we discussed this during Sunday Nivarani. Okay. The thing is, in this world, I'm talking about the fruits of action, because we are not engaging in action. That's what we said. The thing is, even if you sit quiet, even if you take all precautions, your presence can create problems in other people. Okay, and you may say, I didn't even instigate this. Just the way Krishna, the Atman, is not the prompter. Krishna didn't prompt for the fight, but was he there in the fight? Yes. Today he had to face it. Yes, he has to face. So what I'm saying is, even when we think we are not unintentionally or intentionally causing any action, we are initiating actions in this world because we are born in this world. Just the fact that we are born and we are present within an environment, actions, the world will have, this world is forced to react to you. So even that way also the karma takes place. So that is the price we pay to have taken birth. You can go to the center and come, okay? You may not look at anyone. If you don't look at anyone also, people may be troubled. If you look at somebody also, people will be troubled. Okay, if you don't go to the center also, people will be troubled. Okay, so what I'm saying is, but whether you realize it or not, action is created because of you. So because of that, even if it's unfair, even if we think unfair, that's a natural law in this world. That's a natural law in this world. So if you're born, there's action continuously happening.
Maybe this is the one called a collective karma or something. If there is, yeah, maybe not by individual, maybe the collective karma from the past actions. So it comes into the world and we all suffer because of.
See, so Swami, why I'm telling this is in the Sandhya Swami says, the question was posed, are the jnanis experiencing the fruits of action? So what Swami says is the jnani is also exposed to these three. Okay, but the only difference between a jnani and a common man is the jnani is not affected by it. The common man is affected by it. Because that is also fruit of actions. But the jnani is unaffected because he realizes that he is the Atman, which is beyond all this. So because of that, he's not affected. That is the only difference. For a common man who is looking from outside, he will say, oh, this person is also experiencing difficulty. He is also suffering. So he is like me. People can think. But Swami says, no. The jnani, even if he goes through, he is not affected. At the core, he is not affected at all. The body may go through problems, but that is part of natural life in this world. So that's, I was talking about fruits. Okay, so Brother Dasan, please.
So, Sairam, brother. So if you take Anandi, she kills so many thousands of insect or creatures every day while sweeping, cleaning the food and pounding. So all the process, whenever the process happen, boiling, cooking food, so we are killing so many bacteria and everything. So she's creating sin through the karma. So that's what Baba is saying. In order to avoid the sin, you have to offer the food to the God first, because we need the food in order to live. So I cook the food, I kill so many things. So that's one of the reasons Brahmapanam. So that's a jnanis. In order to avoid the sin, they don't cook. They ask the food from the people. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you so much, Prasan. Maybe we all should ask other people to give the food.
No, they will pass on. If you eat the food, you have eaten their karma. So you should stop eating. But I think it's 4:30. I think the time just flew by. Didn't realize. If I will just I think we can continue to discuss, but I will just pause for about 10. If anyone has something which really they want to share, please do so. Otherwise, I think we can continue next week, next Sunday. So I guess I think it's good enough for today. I think we have enough discussion material for us to contemplate. We will continue next week, next Sunday. I think we'll close with Samastaloka and Shanti. Saira. Om समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Sai Ram everyone.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother.